go to the US and talk about Home Depot. This one is the kind of inventor of the big box retail concept. It's headquartered in Atlanta, and it competes with companies like Lowe's, L-O-W-E-S, Lowe's, but Home Depot is the largest, a $172 billion market cap. Look at that, that's huge. Price earnings ratio 23, dividend yield 1.94, trading at its all-time high. Let's go straight to the share chart. I don't know whether it's because people want to use Home Depot stuff to build the wall between the US and Mexico, but one way or another, we've seen the US economy strong, we've seen unemployment in the US declining, and people are doing what they do, which is going to, buy new screwdrivers or do home improvements. They've got terrible weather up there, so they need to reinforce the weatherboarding.
Yeah, and it's interesting, if you look at the typical construction of an American home, it's made of timber. Goes up very, very rapidly.
Timber and Tyvek, which I don't even know what it is. But what is Tyvek? It's like a sort of rhino board type thing.
Yeah, that's right. More
like
for the
insulated
internal
board.
Yeah,
it's fire retardant, but they hammer them up.
That's right, and it's amazing. These things are incredibly well insulated. So from the heating perspective, and these cold climates, as you say, they actually do very, very well. And of course, the Americans, they love their homes. They love entertaining. So you go to a Home Depot, and I've been around many of these things. You really need to go in a little buggy to get the
like a golf cart.
A golf cart, to really appreciate how big these things are. They're absolutely massive.
There's apparently one store which is in a place called Vauxhall, New Jersey, which must be sort of peri-urban, New Jersey, which is 22,000 square meters large. But the typical big box format store is about 10,000 square meters, which is large.
Yeah,
I mean, that is a big property.
And
Undercover, and of course it sells everything from toilet seats to pot plants.
You can buy fully assembled kitchens, or knocked-down kitchens, should I say, take them home. Or you can buy the fully assembled jobs. People will come and assemble them for you. There's virtually nothing you can't buy for the home.
So it's kind of like a builder's warehouse, but on steroids.
On a grand scale, yes.
Right, and as far as the location of these are concerned, I mean, they've got 2,200 stores worldwide, but in fact, it's really a US business. I mean, they've got 22 in Canada, 100 in Mexico. Okay, so Mexico is a reasonable-sized market with about, 5% of the stores there. They didn't really win out in the UK. I mean, you're more familiar with the UK. What's B&O you keep referring to?
B&Q.
B&Q.
Yeah.
Similar concept.
It's similar. Look, it's not as big, but it's very widespread throughout the UK and does exceptionally well. Oh, yeah. And B&Q is very much the model, the framework on which Builders Warehouse in this country was advanced.
Makes sense. And it's not really so much a place for contractors to go. Well, I mean, there is often a contractor's entrance at the back.
Yeah.
It's more for the retail type customer.
Very much so.
And so it kind of covers the home DIY type person, and people,
someone
of
who's
course,
handy with a screwdriver and the like.
And another thing worth mentioning here is that the suppliers to these stores have also gotten very, very good. I mean, if you go into these stores and you see the kind of tools that are available at a low price that come in from China from brands like Ryobi and Black & Decker and all these things, those are incredible. What about the competition from online? I mean, you can also buy all of this stuff on Amazon, right?
Yep.
So,
and look, all of these companies, you mentioned Home Depot and the like, they're all making a presence online. Look, I dare say in 10 years' time, people won't be going to these stores in the same numbers. But having said that, there's something to be said, particularly in this kind of Home Depot environment, in this DIY environment, for actually going there and feeling and seeing, exactly what you can do.
So if you're wanting to do some redecorating, you can't really necessarily pick the paint that you're going to use online. There is something to be said for the store.
Yeah, so I think the big boxes really do have a fantastic appeal.
Plus, of course, they have 2,200 stores which are located strategically. They do a lot of research before they put a new one in, and they look at population trends and densities and housing and all that sort of stuff. So they clearly know what they're doing. Okay, so does this one look attractive to you, trading at an all-time high?
Looks very attractive.
Let's go back to that share chart. I'm also interested just to remind myself what the price-to-earnings ratio is. Not that that's cast in stone, but 23. So 23 times earnings, that's just about in line with the rest of the US market.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to say it's still hot.
I think it's still hot. I think the US economy has got a long way to go, and particularly if Mr. Trump's infrastructure program ever gets off the ground.
That's a good point, because a lot of people think Trump is terrible, and I would be signing up to that way of thinking too. But the rise in small business confidence, which is a function of animal spirits and enthusiasm and a desire to invest, that's going to be positive for the small scale building and contracting type of industry. Okay, hot on that one.